Hi guys! I've been meaning to share this tutorial with you for a while now, but I figured, with the summer holidays and all that, this would be really useful right now. Today we're making a pet bubble mat, or a puff mat, whatever you prefer to call it. It's essentially a pet bed that's really comfy and soft, and that you can just roll up like a mat and take it anywhere. The perfect mat for traveling with your pets, right? And have I mentioned we'll be using all recycled materials? No? Well, we are. Let's do it. The idea here is making a puff mat out of some really old pajama bottoms I have, and I'm going to make this cat size, so about 18 by 20 inches. But the beauty of this tutorial is you can make it any size. Heck, you can make a quilt out of it and just cover your king size bed, because all you'll need is to add more bubbles until you get the size you want. I actually made this one about a decade ago, and you can tell it's been well loved. It's one of my cat's favorite. I made it when there used to be 3 kittens, and life was just a little bit happier because there were 3 of them. So yeah, I think it's about time we make a new one. And if you do not want to make one yourself but would love to own one, just stop by the Sandy on Etsy shop and buy one. Because I have said it before and I'll say it again, this video, all the videos I make are only possible because of you guys who buy my Etsy shop items, who support me on Patreon, and who buy stuff off Amazon using my affiliate links. So thank you for that. I am very, very grateful for each and every one of you. Okay, so let's get these pants into fabric mode. I'm just going to, cut all the seams open and see what we've got going on here. These are kind of flannel-like, I would say, which isn't necessarily the best fabric to work with because it can shift and get all wonky and stuff, but for the beds, cats really love this fabric. Lost my patience. Okay. Pretty sure I have enough fabric for all of them, so yeah, let's just go ahead and do this. There are several ways to build a bubble mat, but I find this to be the easiest one, which is to make the bubbles, stuff them, close them, and sew them all together. Now, there are some versions of it where you sew the bubbles together before stuffing them, which I guess would be better for some sewing machines. But for me, I just prefer to do it this way, but you can try either way, okay? Whatever works for you, the principle is the exact same. Also, the detail of using my old clothing for this isn't just about being thrifty about it. Our pets absolutely love our smell. They go crazy about it. And if you're going to use this for traveling, it will help with their anxiety of going to a foreign, unknown place. And it will even be more effective if the bubble stuffing is made out of scraps of your old clothes. It will be love at first sight for them, I guarantee it. For me personally, I am going to mix the scraps that are left from the pajama bottoms with synthetic stuffing for my bubbles because I just don't have that many old clothes lying around. This was easy enough to cut, and yes, it will be, less troublesome if you make it from just fabric. Having to cut open, having to cut clothes is a bit more trouble, but it will be worth it because of the scent, for them. And if you don't have old clothes or you just don't want to go through all this trouble, it's fine. Just pick regular fabric, do the bed, and then, when you're presenting them to them, just, put a sweater on top of it for a couple of hours, or, one of their blankets, one of their favorite blankets over it, and that should be enough for them to like it, okay? But I much prefer this, and it's a great use of, old clothes you no longer want. Okay, so now we are going to cut our bubbles, and mine are easy enough to cut because I am making 5-inch bubbles, so I need 24 bubbles. You can also make rectangles, of course, but squares are kind of cuter, I think. Okay, so I'm just keeping it real simple, and I'm just going to cut 24 rectangles, 5 by 10 rectangles for my bubbles. This is a really wonky fabric, but that's okay. It's a pet bed. Doesn't need to be extremely straight, I don't think. My cats don't mind. They're demanding, but not that demanding. So let's just do this. Okay, 5 by 10. Here we go. one. Okay, so now that we have our 24 rectangles, all we need to do is fold them in half, just like so, and then we will sew an L. And that way we will have all 3 sides sewn together, and this one will remain open for the stuffing, right? So we need to stuff it. Be right back. We've sewn an L, just like so, and now we are going to turn this inside out. And here is our lovely bubble. Now we'll just need to stuff it and close it, and do this 23 more times. Let's go. Now that I've got all my squares cut and sewn, we stuff them. And you'll want them nice and stuffed, sure, but you'll also want to be able to push the filling aside to do the sewing, okay? And you know, if I'm honest, you will probably need less stuffing than you imagine, okay? So if you're thinking I need 10 amount of stuffing, you'll probably need like 7, 6. It doesn't need to be very tall. And you know, the more you stuff it, you're just making life really harder for yourself, okay? So keep that in mind. However, if you really want your bubbles to be stuffed to the brim, this isn't a problem, okay? Just close the bubbles and sew them together by hand, and you'll be fine. So here we have it, our 24 bubbles all nice and closed, ready to assemble. Now the trick to sewing these in the sewing machine is to place one on top of the other and squeeze the filling to the other side of the bubbles, so this way, so you can feed both fabrics to your machine without a glitch. And the truth is, you really only need to sew a little bit of the fabric together, okay? You don't need a major seam allowance. You can have one, of course, if you'd like, or you can use a zigzag stitch instead of the regular one, your call. So first we will sew the bigger rows, and then we go back and sew the columns together. And before you know it, you'll be done. Okay, let's go. Plus, you know, the whole idea here was to be able to wrap it comfortably, and for that you don't really need a lot of stuffing. Let's see what my girls think of their new bubble pad. Did not take long for Julieta to come here. She loves it, I think. Do you agree? And that's it, guys. We are done. Easy peasy, and just like that, you will make your pets really happy, really comfortable. Thank you for doing this with me, and I'll see you very, very soon. Bye bye.